Okay, so this is NS NS 2024 2024. Okay. Kertas satu. Everybody knows where to get the paper Semua dapat kertas dia Those of you who are live boleh dapat daripada website cikgu. Those who are watching the rakaman dia, I have it in the description. Okay. Okay, come tengok soalan pertama. It's a very common question class. Antara berikut yang mana which is derived quantity, terbitan. So let's go through the 7. You don't remember your derived quantity. Jangan ingat terbitan tau. Ingat, you have to remember which one? You have to remember the base quantities, asas So ada 7. What are they? Come on, let's do revision. Apa quantity asas? What are the 7? 7 base quantities? Come on. This one you must remember class. Mesti ingat Length, okay, very good. Length, panjang. Mass, okay, very good. Not force. Force is not. Time, yes, very good. Masa. 4 more. 4 lagi. Electric current, very good. Arus electric. Time, yes, very good. Time is here. Lagi. Temperature, very good. Suhu. Amount of substance, very good. Bilangan mole, how many do we have? 6. Last one. Yes, luminous intensity. Very good. Okay. Very good. Not light intensity, luminous intensity Keamatan berluminosity. Alright. So we have 7. 7 So these are the base quantity. Ini adalah quantity asas. Anytime you see any other quantity, kalau awak nampak mana-mana quantity lain, yes, that's right. Ini 7 quantity asas. Kalau nampak mana-mana quantity lain, any other quantity, itu adalah quantity terbitan. Automatically that become derived quantity lah. Faham tak? So you don't remember derived quantity. Jangan ingat quantity terbitan. Ingat quantity asas. Just remember base quantity. Okay? So tengok sini. Yang mana terbitan? So you can see lah. Okay, tempo ionan, don't get distracted by this, Jangan keliru dengan yang ini. Tempo itu adalah, period is what? Period is time. Tempo itu adalah masa, betul tak? Okay. And then, sesaran displacement is what? Ini adalah panjang, length. Yang bawah itu apa? Yang mana? This one Luminous intensity. Keamatan berluminosity. Ini yang basically keamatan cahaya lah. Basically light intensity. Dia unit dia candela. Ingat tak? CD. Candela. Okay? Ini kita jarang guna. Bawah I. Bawah I ialah suhu. Temperature. Theta. Suhu. Okay? Okay, so sesaran adalah panjang. Okay, force. No, force is derived. Yeah, that's right. Force is derived. Okay, then daya itu terbitan lah sebab bukan di sini kan. It's not here. Temperature, suhu. Okay. So, ini semua asas. So, remember ingat quantity asas. Okay. You all can share the link with your friends class Boleh share dengan kawan-kawan semua. Kalau ada siapa nak join anybody can join. Okay. Just share it with them. Okay, let's look at number 2. Tengok number 2. So this one is a very standard question class. Ingat yang inilah. Dengan ingat unit SI juga. So what are the SI units? So unit SI adalah untuk quantity asas, all the base quantity. Actually, terbitan pun ada lah. There is some special SI unit for derived quantity. Okay. Wait. Let me show you. Cikgu ajar daripada nota cikgu. Wait Okay. Let me show you unit SI. So unit SI here. Nampak tak? So for length untuk panjang we have meter, mass is kg kilogram, jisim ialah kg, and then masa ialah saat, second Okay, wait. Cikgu zoom in Masa ialah saat, and then this one temperature is Kelvin, bukan darjah Celsius no degree Celsius. Okay, temperature is Kelvin, and then electric current, arus elektrik ialah ampere, N is mole. Okay, bilangan bahan, amount of substance is mole, and then we have this luminous intensity, candela, seperti yang cikgu bagi tahu tadi lah. Ini simbol dia. These are the SI units. Okay, keamatan berluminosity. Boleh? Now, we have some other special SI units also. Contohnya coulomb. Coulomb is for charge. Okay, untuk charge, kita ada coulomb. And then we have joule. Joule untuk tenaga, for energy. Okay, work done ataupun kerja yang dilakukan. We have Newton. Newton is also considered SI unit. Newton juga merupakan unit SI This is a special SI unit. Boleh? Okay, and then Pascal. Pascal untuk tekanan. This is for pressure lah. Okay, clear class dengan unit. Ini mesti keluar punya. There's a high chance it will come out lah. But kertas satu lah. Okay. Ini nota ini untuk pelajar cikgu lah. This one is for my students, especially for my students. Tapi kalau join kelas cikgu memang dapat free. You will get the notes all free. Tapi kena join kelas cikgu lah. If you want, you can boleh screenshot sekarang kalau nak. I will allow you to screenshot. You can just take this. Ambil yang ni lah. Dah screenshot bagi tahu cikgu, then I will move on. Ini actually adalah aktiviti dalam buku teks tau. Do you know that this is an activity in your textbook? Okay, take this one. Ya dah. Okay? Dapat? Can, no problem. Just join, no issue. Just join. Okay, come. Let's continue. Mari kita teruskan. Okay, look at the next question. Tengok soalan seterusnya. Alright, Raja 1 menunjukkan perbezaan diameter, difference in diameter of the earth. Okay, you can see diameter of the earth here. Alright, di sini, tengok sini ya. 12,714, 10,714. This one 756. Tak sama it's not the same. So awak nampak ini awak sudah tahu lah kelas. Which one is this? This one is about what? Ini tentang apa? You nampak ini awak mesti tahu topik dia tahu. You must automatically link it to the topic. Remember not? What topic is this? Ini adalah pecotan gravity, gravitational acceleration. Okay, pecotan gravity. Sebab bumi bukan sfera sempurna. The earth is not a perfect square. Okay, jadi G pun nilai dia lain. Is different values. Nilai dia lain. Di kutub dia lain, di khatulistiwa dia lain. At the equator is different, at the pole is different. Yang mana lebih kuat? Where is it stronger? Gravitational field. Medan gravity yang mana lebih kuat kelas? Kutub ke di khatulistiwa? Is it at the equator or is it at the poles? Where? Okay, again neman. Kita buat ulang kaji. We do some revision Okay, we do some revision. This is not chapter 3. This one is chapter 2. Let me show you. This one. Okay, ini adalah 2.3. This is actually free fall motion. So, di khatulistiwa at the equator, the G, nilai G ialah 9.78, 9.78. Okay, tapi di kutub at the poles is 9.83, 9.83. Kenapa tahu? Because jarak dia lebih dekat dengan pusat bumi. The distance is closer to the center of the earth. So semakin dekat jarak dengan pusat bumi, the closer the distance to the center, the stronger the gravitational field. Semakin kuat medan gravity. Jangan lupa, don't forget this, Okay, the stronger the gravitational field. So that means di kutub dia lebih tinggi. Is greater at the poles. Alright, come, let's go back to the question. Okay, so soalan dia ialah, the question is, semua pernyataan yang berikut adalah benar. Everything is true about gravity except benar berkaitan dengan gravity kecuali. Okay, tengok yang pertama. Pecotan gravity khatulistiwa equator 9.79. Betul ke? Is this correct? It's actually 78 lah. Salah. Wrong. Jarak dari khatulistiwa ke bumi lebih jauh. From the equator to the center is longer than the pole to the center. Kutub ke? This one. Ini benar kan? These two are true lah. 7.98 okey lah. 9.78, 9.79 okey lah. Betul lah. So ini betul. Bukan jawapan lah. Sebab dia kata kecuali kan. Except, isn't it? Okay. Jarak khatulistiwa, yes, lebih jauh. You always remember this. Tapi ini tak payah ingat pun, dia dah bagi rajah. They give you diagram, isn't it? Okay, so nampak sini jarak dia lebih besar, is greater, isn't it? Okay, ini betul lah, is benar, is true. Okay, look at the next one. C. Nilai pecotan gravity berubah. The value of Earth gravitational acceleration G changes from one place to another. Berubah dari satu tempat ke tempat yang lain. Yes, ini benar. Ini benar kan? Seperti yang kita tahu, khatulistiwa dengan kutub tak sama. It's not the same. 9.8, 39.83 and 7, 7, 8. Okay, benar. Yes. So, tengok D. Nilai percotaan di khatulistiwa lebih besar. Salah. At the equator is greater. Ini adalah palsu. So, ini jawapan dia. This is the answer. You be careful when you get question like this. Bila dapat soalan kecuali, jangan cuai di sini. Don't be careless here lah. Be careful. Okay? Okay, look at the next one. Daya yang bertindak per unit GSM. The force acting per unit mass. What is this? Daya per unit GSM ni apa, class? This is a straightforward one. Come on. Yang mana betul? Force per unit mass. Yes, poles is stronger than the equator. That's right. Yes, very good. Do you remember this class? Ini adalah bab 2. This is your chapter 2, form 4. Tingkatan 4 bab 2. Ini adalah 2.8. 2.8. Okay, this one. See, daya per unit GSM. Force per unit mass. What is this? Apa ini? Ini kita dapat daripada, we get from F equals to mg. F sama dengan mg. Okay? So, G sama dengan G is F over M. Apa ni? This is what? This is kekuatan medan gravitational field strength. Boleh ingat, guys? Can remember now? Can recall? Are you okay? Can? Okay, look at number 4. Alright, darjah 2 menunjukkan kereta lumba F1 racing car. Now, kereta menggunakan S-pin lagi, which one? This one is gravity, daya gravity. So, kita sudah tahu, we already know F is MA, right? F sama dengan MA kan? Tapi, bila daya ialah daya gravity, when F is gravitational force, right? Bila F ialah daya gravity, then pecutan ini adalah pecutan disebabkan oleh gravity. Acceleration due to gravity. So, dia jadi G. Right? So, kita susun semula, rearrange, jadikan G sebagai perkara. Make this the subject. Now, this one we get force per unit mass. Daya per unit GSM. Now, force per unit mass is actually the definition for, ini adalah definisi bagi kekuatan medan gravity. Gravitational field strength. Okay, it is also gravitational acceleration. Dia memang pecutan gravity juga. So, magnitude dia sama. The magnitude will be the same, 9.81. Tapi kalau kekuatan medan gravity, gravitational field strength, the unit that we use, biasanya unit yang kita pakai untuk ini ialah apa? Force is Newton. GSM dia ialah kg kan? So, unit yang kita pakai untuk kekuatan medan gravity, gravitational field strength, is actually Newton per kg. Okay? Newton per kg. Boleh? Okay. Yes. It is the same thing. Actually, it's the same thing. And the magnitude is the same. Magnitude dia sama. It's just that the definition is different. Macam mana kita takrifkan dia lah. Dia tak sama. But actually, nilai dia sama. Alright. Okay, look at number 4. This is an F1 car. Okay. Kereta menggunakan bahan dengan ketupatan rendah. The car uses low density material. Why? This is a very common question, class. Especially untuk kertas 2. For your paper 2, bahagian B, bahagian C. Ini sangat popular. Ketupatan rendah maksudnya apa? Whenever they say low density, automatically you must link it to, kena kaitkan dengan, what must you link it to? Automatically. Bila dia kata ketupatan rendah, low density, automatically, what is that? Come on, guys. Come on. Okay, never mind. I teach you. Low density, very good. Low density, automatically you must think light. Ringan. Automatically. Okay. You know, soalan, apa dia? Soalan, characteristic reason. Ciri alasan. Bahagian B, bahagian C kan? The section B, section C. This one, every time must ada, ini sangat popular. ketumpatan adalah ciri dia. The characteristic will be the density. So it will be low density. And then sebab dia, alasan yang kita bagi ialah sebab ringan, because it is light. Please remember this. Okay, ingat. So light. So you choose the answer. Pilih jawapan yang berkaitan dengan ringan. Okay, so which one? So this is F1 car lah. So F1, kereta F1 ini memang dia nak laju lah. We want it to be very fast, isn't it? So, which one? Yeah, that's right. Excel, okay, see. Pecotan bertambah jika GSM berkurang. Acceleration increase when mass decrease. Is this right? Kita guna apa? Yes, very good. Very good. Kita guna apa? We use F sama dengan MA, right? Apakah hubungan GSM dengan pecotan? What's the relationship? So, please remember guys, saya selalu ingatkan pelajar saya. Always remind my students, kalau kita nak dapatkan hubungan dia, if you want to get the relationship, make sure one of it is the subject. Jadikan salah satunya sebagai perkara rumus. So, either M or A, tak kisahlah. Okay, katakan kita pilih M. Let's say you choose M. So, M ialah F per A. Okay. Nampak tak? Satu di sebelah kiri, satu di sebelah kanan. One on the left, one on the right. Okay, now we can compare lah. Faham tak? So ini satu atas satu bawah, one up one down means inversely proportional. Kalau GSM rendah berkadar songsang. Kalau GSM rendah pecotan tinggi. Yes, inilah yang kita nak. This is what we want. Boleh? Okay. Alright. Okay, tengok nombor 5. Look at number 5. So ini masih lagi bab 2. This is still chapter 2. Do you remember ikut lajak? Remember your follow through or not? Okay, ingat tak? Remember follow through? What is this? Okay, tindakan ikut lajak dengan satu daya tetap with a constant force on a stationary object. Objek pegun dapat mengubah semua kecuali. What topic is this, class? Very good. Ikut lajak ini adalah topik impulse. Very good. Impulse. Okay. So, tindakan ikut lajak ini akan buat apa? What does it do actually? Follow through will increase. Ini akan meningkatkan. Okay, see. Let's do some revision. Cikgu, tengok apa yang cikgu ajar. Let me show you what I... Okay. You see, you must remember this, class. Mesti ingat yang ini. You must remember this. So, follow through action. Okay. Tindakan ikut lajak ini akan meningkatkan impulse. It will increase the impulse. Yes, higher impulse. Okay. So, maksudnya impulse ialah apa? Impulse ialah perubahan, change in momentum. Not rate, bukan kadar. Impulse is change in momentum. Okay. Apa itu kadar perubahan momentum? What is rate of change of momentum? Apa kadar perubahan momentum? Okay. Change in momentum. Yes, very good. Change in momentum is impulse. Okay. Impulse ialah perubahan momentum. Impulsive force. Daya impulse. Very good. Daya impulse ialah kadar perubahan momentum. Rate of change of momentum. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the question. Okay. So, sekarang kita sudah faham apa itu, apa yang akan diubah oleh ikut lajak. This one, follow through. So, it will increase impulse. Now, impulse got two formula. Ada dua rumus kan? Either FT, okay, ataupun or MB tolak MU. Isn't it? Mesti ingat dua-dua. You must remember both. So, dia akan meningkatkan, increase impulse. Dia sudah kata daya tetap. They already say force is constant. So, ini memang dia takkan meningkatkan daya lah. It won't increase the force. So, it will either change the time, masa. Yes. Okay. GSM takkan berubah. Mass of course is constant lah. Objek itu kita takkan ubah GSM dia. Isn't it? So, it can be either mass sama ada GSM ataupun halaju akhir. Do you understand? Faham tak? GSM atau halaju akhir, bila dia bertambah, ini pun bertambah. Impulse will increase. Kalau kita meningkatkan halaju awal, if you increase the initial velocity, then nilai dia akan berkurang, betul tak? Because you are subtracting a bigger value. Sebab kita tolak nilai yang lebih besar. Bila kita tolak nilai yang lebih besar, dia jadi lebih kecil lah. Become smaller, correct or not? Faham tak? Okay. So, bukan U. It's either T atau V sahaja. Can Okay. Alright. So, di sini apa jawapan dia? Kecuali, accept again, ini adalah soalan kecuali Don't make the mistake here. So apa jawapan dia? Is clear already. Cikgu baru bagi jawapan tadi. So hal laju akhir, yes. Masa sentuhan, time of contact, yes. T, impulse, yes. So kecuali momentum awal lah. Because again, kalau kita meningkatkan momentum awal this one, kita akan tolak nilai yang lebih besar. You will subtract a bigger value, isn't it? Kalau kita tolak nilai yang lebih besar, if you subtract a bigger value, what will happen? Then, impulse akan menjadi kecil. Correct or not? Ha. Okay? Boleh? So the answer is A. Set soalan ini soalan yang bagus lah. It's a good set of questions. Okay. Okay, look at this. So sekarang kita sudah masuk bab 3. We are in chapter 3 already. Sebuah satellite pengimajan, radar imaging satellite pengimajan radar mengorbit, mengelilingi bumi, around the earth. Pada ketinggian ini. Okay, please be very careful of this type of question. Ingat tak soalan ini? Okay, height. Tinggian Ini bukan R. Is not R. Please remember this Ketinggian maksudnya kita ukur dari mana? Where do we measure height? Ketinggian kita ukur dari permukaan. From the surface Yes, very good. Very good. That's right. From the surface. So ketinggian dia 525 km. Now, this topic class normally only two things lah. Nombor satu ialah awak kena peka tentang R. You have to be alert about the R. Okay, because dia akan bagi ketinggian like this. They give you height sometimes, bukan R. Number two, awak kena peka tentang unit dia. You have to be careful about the unit. Okay, itu pun awak kena peka lah because guna unit SI. Kilometer bukan SI Kilometer is not SI. Always be alert of these two things. Dua benda ni. Okay, now, berapakah nilai percepatan gravity satellite? What is the value of the gravitational acceleration? Okay, so apa rumus dia? What is the formula? G sama dengan G is square root of Gm per Okay, this one class actually please remember kawan baik awak semasa peperiksaan. Your best friend during exam is here. Your best friend during exam is your apa dia? Senarai rumus. Is your formula list. Okay, so ini memang semua diberikan. Please make sure you remember to use this lah. Jangan lupa untuk guna yang ini. So if you want G, then it is Gm over R square. Gm per R kuasa 2. Okay, V is square root Gm over. Okay, sorry, did I put square root? Sorry, bukan. No, okay, so yeah. So Gm over R. Alright. So, how? Try to calculate, class. Use your calculator. Yeah, Gm over R squared. That's right. Gm over R squared. Guna calculator. This one actually kita dapat daripada mg equals to gmm per R kuasa 2. So this one, this is how we get this formula. Anyway, don't worry. You can just get from the senarai rumus. Use your calculators, class. Come on, calculate. Practice using your calculator. So again, saya selalu ajar pelajar saya, I teach my students, when you all are doing this topic, awak mesti pandai menggunakan, you must be confident to use this one. Wait, let me take my calculator and come. Okay, awak mesti pandai menggunakan ini. Do you all know how to use, tahu tak macam mana untuk guna this one? Untuk siapa yang guna MS lah. Kalau guna ClassFish, if you're using EX, no problem. Tapi yang guna MS, even if you're using ClassFish lah, guna yang ini. Use this button here. Tahu tak, class? Okay, good. Make sure you all use this. Okay, try. Apa nilai dia? Yes, it is. It is. But it's not small r, bukan r huruf kecil. Because r huruf kecil memang adalah jarak antara pusat. Small r is the distance between the centers. So we use big R. R huruf besar tambah H. Okay, come. Cikgu tunjuk penggantian dia. Let me show you the substitution. So here, what we do is, G ialah ini 6.67, 6.67 darab times 10 to the power negative 11 darab, okay, GSAM. GSAM apa? Which mass do we take? Kita ambil GSAM mana? What's the difference between small r and different? Okay, wait, I teach you in a while. Kita ambil mana? Which M? GSAM satellite ke GSAM bumi? Do we take the mass of the satellite or the mass of the earth? Okay, nampak tak di sini? You see here? Yes, very good. That's right. You see here, tengok sini kelas. I already told you macam mana kita dapat rumus ini. How do we get this formula? Kita bandingkan mg. We compare mg with gmm over r square. Okay. So, GSAM satellite akan hapus. Mass of satellite will be eliminated. Okay. Mass of satellite will be eliminated. So, GSAM ini, you always remember, GSAM yang kita pakai di sini, the mass that we use here will be the mass of the large object in the center. Objek besar di pusat. So, kalau bumi dengan satellite, bumi lah. If it is the earth and the satellite, earth. Kalau bumi dengan bulan, bumi. Macam tu. Okay. Objek yang tidak mengorbit. We take the mass of the object that is not orbiting. Faham tak? Okay. Okay, so ambil GSAM bumi. So 5.97, 5.97 darab 10 kuasa 24. Okay, GM. Now, R kuasa 2. So, apakah hubungan antara R huruf kecil, R huruf besar? What's the relationship between small r, big R? Please listen carefully. R huruf besar, sini. Jejari bumi, radius of the earth. Here. Listen carefully. R huruf besar, jejari bumi. What is the small r? Apakah R huruf kecil? R huruf kecil adalah jarak antara pusat. The distance between the centers. Dari pusat ke pusat. From this center to this center. Ini R huruf kecil. Faham tak? Okay. So, ketinggian di sini. This is the height. Ini adalah jejari bumi. So, jarak antara pusat. The distance between the centers is what? Jarak antara pusat ialah capital R, iaitu jejari bumi, the radius of the earth, plus ketinggian satellite. Height of the satellite. Clear? Faham perbezaan dia? Understand the difference now? Okay? Alright. So, yang ini kelas, bila kita ganti, when you substitute, put in the bracket, dalam kurungan. So, first we take this one lah. Okay, ini dia bagi dalam meter, 6.37, 6.37 darab times 10 to the power of 6 per kuasa 6 meter. Okay, this one no problem. Now, masalah dia ialah ini, 525 km, 525 km. Most of you will just put 525, tambah 525. Awak akan dapat jawapan salah. Yes, very good. You will get the wrong answer. Okay, so always remember to check your unit. Semak unit. Semua guna unit SI di sini. Here we use all SI units. Kilometer bukan unit SI. Right? Change to meter. That's right. So, darab 10 kuasa 3. That's right. Very good. Change to meter. Tukar kepada meter. Don't forget square. This is why class. Dalam calculator kena pakai this one. Your calculator you must use this. This topic semua nombor dia besar-besar. Very large number. So, you have to use this. Okay. Alright. Yeah, 525,000. That's right. Okay. So, apa jawapan dia? So, you put in your calculator lah class. Your answer should be donkey. Dapat tak? I know 2 of you got ready. Everybody okay? Please practice using your calculator. Very good. Boleh? Okay, good. Okay, class, come. Let's do some... mari kita buat kertas 2 pula. Nanti cikgu akan bagi skema. I will give you all the mark scheme for this. I will give you all the mark scheme for this. Pergi buat yang lain. Please do the other questions as well. Buat sebanyak yang boleh. Nanti cikgu akan bagi skema. You all can check. Okay? Come, let's do paper 2. Let's go to paper 2 class. Okay, keluarkan kertas 2. Everybody got the paper Semua tahu macam mana dapat daripada website cikgu. Next week. Can? Yeah. Okay, come. Let's look at number 5. So, kita sudah buat sampai bab 3. In paper 1, we already did until chapter 3. Yang ini kita buat bab 4. Come. Okay, tengok soalan nombor 5. Let's look at number 5. Semua dapat NS 2024 kertas 2. By the way class, this is the questions soalan macam ni saya buat dalam cikgu buat dalam kelas exam drill. I have exam drill classes. Okay, dia 1 jam. It's 1 hour ni. Fully we focus on exam question. Dalam exam drill cikgu buat yang latest lah. So I'll be doing 2025 papers. Kita buat soalan 2025. If you all want to join, May classes are starting next week. Boleh join. Just go to website cikgu mrroyaltuition.com. Senang saja. Click join live class. Pilih exam drill. All the method is there already. Very easy. Okay. Alright. Good. You all want to join? Quickly join. Okay. Now look at this. Rajah 5A dan 5B, 5A and 5B show experiment to determine relationship untuk menentukan hubungan antara isi padu udara terperangkap, the trapped air, volume of trapped air, and pressure dan tekanan. Okay. From here itself, nanti cikgu bagi. Later I'll give you all the mark scheme. After this class, I will give you the mark scheme. Nanti saya akan bagi dalam website cikgu. You go to my website, you click on this thing lah. Nanti tempat yang sama awak dapat nota dia kan. The same place you got the notes, I will give the mark scheme also. Okay. Alright. Now, look at this. The volume and pressure. Okay. Awak nampak saja, you should already know what is the gas law. Apa hukum gas dia, kelas? What's the gas law here? You see only, you should know already. Apa hukum gas dia? So we have what? Kita ada isi padu. Very good. We have isi padu. We have volume. Gas loss. This one is your form 4. Tingkatan 4 bab 4. Chapter 4. So we have volume and we have pressure. What is this? Apa ni? PV is what? PV ialah volume and pressure. Okay, never mind. Come, we do some revision. Pressure and volume is Boyle's law. Okay, come. We do some revision. Let me show you gas loss. Okay. So, you must always remember class, kena ingat hukum gas. Okay. So, Boyle's law, hukum Boyle, okay, is pressure, tekanan, berkadar songsang dengan isi padu, inversely proportional to volume. Pressure and volume is Boyle. Please write down now atas kertas itu, tulis sekarang. Tulis, write it down. Okay, it will help you remember. Awak akan lebih senang untuk ingat kalau awak tulis. Okay, it's one of the methods for remembering. Tulis beberapa kali, writing down a few times. So, pressure and volume is Boyle. Ini hukum Boyle. Okay, volume and temperature, isi padu dan suhu ialah Charles. Yeah, the triangle. Yes, that is very helpful here. Okay, isi padu can later I show you the BM. Isi padu dengan tekanan, volume, isi padu dengan suhu, volume and temperature is Charles. Gay-Lussac is pressure and temperature, tekanan dan suhu. Okay, this is the BM. For those who are live, you can only see this one. So first one is Boyle, tekanan berkadar songsang dengan isi padu, Boyle, right? Then isi padu berkadar terus, directly proportional volume and temperature, this is Charles, VT is Charles, okay. Lepas tu tekanan dengan suhu, pressure and temperature is Gay-Lussac. Okay. Okay, mesti ingat tiga ni kelas. Now, don't worry, tak payah hafal. I mean, of course, kena ingat yang mana hukum mana lah, which one is which law you have to remember. But, perhitungan the calculation and the formula memang diberikan dalam senarai rumus lah. Let me show you. You will get PV over T. Tengok senarai rumus. This one don't have. Wait, let me show you. Kertas satu tadi ada kan? Okay, let me show you. Go to your formula list. Tengok senarai rumus. Look at your chapter 4, this one. Nampak tak? See? Number 4, number 5, number 6. So, number 4, nombor 4 ialah Boyle's. Okay? Nombor 5, number 5 is Charles. And then, nombor 6 ialah Gay-Lussac. Okay? Ini memang diberikan. Jangan risau. Don't worry. It's given. You just have to know what lah. Okay. So, kita boleh guna ini nanti. Let's do the question. Alright. So, balik kepada kertas 2 tadi. Okay. So, Tengok rajah dia. Look at the diagram carefully. So, bila kita dapat soalan macam ni, you'll always get your comparison. Dia akan suruh bandingkan lah rajah 1 dan 2. Very standard question, right? So, tengok isi padu udara. Look at the volume of air. Okay, you can see there's a difference here. Nampak tak? And then number 2, this type of question, awak kena tengok bacaan dia. You have to look at the reading. Okay, di sini ada the triangle. Can? So, it is PV over T. So, K equals to PV over T. Which triangle so okay, you can do this. So if you want pressure and pressure over temperature, and then isi padu bahagi suhu, and then pressure volume. Okay, PV over T. Yes, PV over T. K, constant, pemalah. PV over T is a constant. Alright. Okay, see so tolok tekanan, the pressure gauge, you can see bacaan dia ada perbezaan. Can see not? Nampak tak? This is another thing you have to take note lah. Okay, memang ini dia selalu tanya macam tu. They always ask like this. It's very common. So you can see the reading here. Nampak tak bacaan dia? Dari sini kita boleh tahu yang mana tekanan lebih tinggi. Okay, tak faham PV over T? That's the formula. PV over T is a constant. PV bahagi T ialah pemalah. It's a constant. So, kalau isi padu dimalarkan, okay, for example, in this question, suhu dimalarkan. Temperature is constant. Okay, temperature is constant. So, then baru kita boleh dapat hubungan antara tekanan dan isi padu. Then only we can get the relationship between pressure and volume. Okay. Okay. Okay, so coming back here class, tengok tekanan dia. So isi padu for the volume, isi padu 5A lebih banyak. Right? It's a greater volume here. But for pressure tekanan dia, we can see clearly 5B. 5B is greater, isn't it? Okay, alright. So, look at this one. Define gas pressure. Takrifkan tekanan gas. Right? Apakah itu tekanan gas? What is gas pressure, guys? They specifically ask for gas pressure. Dia tanya apakah itu tekanan gas, bukan tekanan tau. What's the pressure of gas? You must remember dalam bab ini kelas, remember we have kinetic theory of gas. Kita ada teori kinetic gas kan? Okay, so what is the... Just try. Quantity of air molecules. No. Ini adalah bab 4. Form 4 chapter 4. Form 4 chapter 4. Tingkatan 4 bab 4. Daya per unit luas. Okay, yes, you can start there. So gas pressure, tekanan gas ini, you can start with the formula lah. Boleh guna rumus dia. Pressure is what? Force per unit area, isn't it? Daya per unit luas kan? Okay. But dia tanya secara spesifik tekanan gas. They ask you for gas pressure. How to answer this? So di sini kelas, soalan tak kata guna teori kinetic gas. They didn't ask you to use kinetic theory of gas. Tapi itu adalah soalan yang popular. We do a revision in a while. Nanti cikgu ajar sekejap lagi. So di sini skema dia, the mark scheme is actually force per unit area yang dikenakan oleh gas, which is exerted by the gas. Okay. Force act by gas per unit area. Yes, very good. That's a good answer. That's a complete answer. By the gas. Yes. Yang dikenakan oleh gas. Exerted by the gas. Okay. Ini exerted by the gas. Okay. So, if they ask you to use kinetic theory, do you remember? Ingat tak? It's a very popular question. Okay. Soalan yang sangat popular. Okay. Kalau dia suruh guna teori gas, this one. Okay. So, why this is using kinetic theory? Ini menggunakan teori kinetic gas. Right? So, why is it? Saya tunjuk dalam bahasa Inggeris dulu, then bahasa Melayu. Kalau saya buat macam ni, terlalu kecil. It's too small, right? Okay, I show you one by one lah. Okay. Okay. Now, according to kinetic theory of gas, mengikut teori kinetic gas. Okay, macam mana kita terangkan tekanan gas? How do you explain the pressure of gas? So, gas particles are in constant random motion. Okay, zarah-zarah gas sentiasa bergerak secara rawak. Right? Because according to kinetic theory of matter, ini kita belajar dalam tingkatan menengah rendah. You learn in your lower secondary, kinetic theory of gas. Okay. The gas is always moving. Dia sentiasa bergerak, betul tak? It's always moving randomly. Kalau dia sentiasa bergerak, memang dia akan berlanggar dengan dinding bekas. It will definitely collide with the wall of the container dan melantun. And it will rebound. Now, class. Bila dia berlanggar dan melantun, then you have to go back to impulse. So, kalau dia berlanggar dan melantun, if it collides with the wall and it rebounds, there is a impulsive force. Ada daya impuls kan? Sebab kenapa? Sebab ada perubahan momentum. There's a change in momentum. Isn't it? Kan? There's a change in momentum. So, ada daya impuls. There's a force. So, this force, daya ini per unit luas, per unit area is the pressure of the gas lah. Tekanan gas ialah daya ini per unit luas. Faham tak? So, when do you use these points? Bila kita guna isi ini, bila soalan suruh terangkan, when the question asks you to explain based on berdasarkan teori kinetic gas, kinetic theory of gas. Please remember this. Pergi baca balik kelas, go and read back. It's very popular. Okay, very popular. So, dia ada 3 lah. Got temperature, got volume. Alright. Okay, come. So, this one is nota cikgu. My own notes yang cikgu bagi pelajar cikgu. If you all join my class, you all will get for free lah. Okay, tengok sini. Rajah 5A dan B bandingkan, compare. So, I told you already. Memang standard lah. Standard question. So, isi padu we already did. 5A lebih daripada 5B. And then tekanan 5B is more. Ini kita sudah buat. Okay. Now, look at the next one. Lepas dia suruh bandingkan, the next question is definitely hubungan. So, apakah hubungan? What's the relationship between the volume and the pressure? Macam mana kita jawab ini, kelas? How do you answer this? Apakah hubungan dia? What is the term that we use? Apa istilah yang kita pakai? I'm waiting for that. Okay, good. So, tadi bila kita sebut ini adalah hukum Boyle. When we say Boyle's law, we know Boyle's law states that hukum Boyle menyatakan yang tekanan gas berkadar songsang is inversely proportional to the volume, right? Okay, yes. Ini adalah hukum Boyle. Yes, very good. That's correct. Right. But bila kita jawab soalan ini, when we answer questions here, berdasarkan rajah, based on the diagram. Okay. Bila kita jawab soalan berdasarkan rajah, whenever you answer question based on diagram, don't have graph, tak ada graph. Tak ada graph, you cannot use proportion. Jangan guna perkadaran. Don't use proportionality. You cannot say inversely proportional, directly proportional, tak boleh. Walaupun teori dia betul, even though the theory is correct. Yes, that's right. Please remember, this is format, class. Okay, this is format. So, we cannot say kita tak boleh sebut berkadar songsang, walaupun teori dia betul. Okay, so here, what do we say? Yes, increase, decrease, that's right. Very good. So, kita boleh kata sebab dia songsang. So, you can say when the volume increase, apabila isi padu gas bertambah or semakin tinggi. Yes, very good. You can use semakin-semakin. So, I always advise my students, kalau bahasa Melayu, guna semakin-semakin. Senang. Very easy. So, you can say semakin tinggi isi padu, semakin rendah tekanan. Right? Yeah, when it's based on the diagram. Bila dia berdasarkan rajah, berdasarkan situasi macam ni, always use semakin-semakin, or in English, you use increase-decrease lah. So, in English, we say, when the volume increase, apabila isi padu bertambah, pressure decreases. Tekanan berkurang. Macam tu. Okay? Yes. Kalau berkadar itu, yes. Mesti ada graph. Must have graph. must have graph. Contohnya bila dia tanya untuk amali. When they ask for amali, dia suruh awak, lepas awak sudah lukis graph, they ask you, apakah hubungan berdasarkan graph? What is the relationship based on graph? Kalau awak dapat garis lurus yang melalui asalan, if you get a straight line passing through origin, is directly proportional. Okay, how to get graph untuk perkadar, macam mana kita tahu dia berkadar songsang? How do we know it's inversely proportional? Kena lukis P melawan 1 per V. You have to draw P against 1 over V. Bila kita lukis P melawan 1 per V, kita dapat macam ni. If you get this straight line that passes through the origin, yes, memang dia berkadar songsang. Yeah. Okay? You've been struggling with your paper. If you use semakin in amali, if it is a directly proportional and you use semakin, wrong. Wrong. If your graph is directly proportional dalam amali, kalau dia memang berkadar terus, awak dapat garis lurus melalui asalan, guna berkadar terus. You use directly proportional. Okay? Kalau tak kelas, if not, let's say in your amali, okay, awak mungkin tak dapat macam teori tau. You may not get the same as theory. Follow your graph. Ikut graph. So, kalau contohnya graph macam ni, then you can say semakin tinggi lah. Actually, hubungan yang betul di sini ialah apa? Do you remember the correct relationship? Y bertambah secara linear dengan X. Y increases linearly as X. That's how you should say. Kalau kita ikut hubungan yang betul lah. The correct relationship. Okay? You want to improve your amali class. Siapa ada amali? Anybody got amali soon? If you got amali, pergi ke YouTube cikgu. Go to my YouTube. Mr. Ruel Tuition. Cari YouTube, pergi type Mr. Ruel Tuition, amali. Cikgu ada banyak video. I have a lot of video, a lot of tips. Just go and watch. Don't worry. Senang punya. Okay? I have a lot of tips for your amali. Alright? All free lah, of course. Semua free. You can go and watch, go and share with everybody. Oh. Okay, this one you have to check with your cikgu lah. Kenapa lah? Yeah, oh, that one's a bit too much lah. Now, with an S also is fine. It's okay. They won't penalize you for grammar. Dia takkan bagi salah sebab tata bahasa. Okay? For join my tuition, if you join my tuition, you just go to mrrueltuition.com. Or you all follow saya kan TikTok. Those who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow. Siapa yang belum follow cikgu. Every day saya post content. You go to the first video. Tengok video pertama macam mana nak join. Semua ada. Everything got. Okay? Everything got there. Alright? The first video yang cikgu pin. Cara nak join. Okay. Alright. So, itu hubungan. Okay, hukum physics. This one we already know lah. Kan? No problem. We already know the law. What is that? Boyle's law lah. Ini adalah hukum Boyle. Kan? Boyle. So, you write Boyle's law. Hukum Boyle. Hukum Boyle. Okay, look at the next one. Tengok yang seterusnya. Berdasarkan jawapan di 5C. Based on your answer in 5C. Okay. I'm very glad. Okay, berdasarkan jawapan di 5C, what happens to the kinetic energy? Apa yang berlaku kepada tenaga kinetik zarah-zarah apabila dimampatkan, when it is compressed? Okay, you see bila dia sebut tentang tenaga kinetik, when they talk about kinetic energy here, we have to link to what? Kita kena kaitkan dengan apa? What do we link it to? Okay. Good try. But you have to think first. Kita kena kaitkan dengan apa? Kinetic energy will link to what? Kinetic theory, no. Yes, very good. Temperature. Apa hubungan dia? What's the relationship between kinetic energy and temperature? Tenaga kinetik dan suhu, apa hubungan dia? Okay, please remember this class. Sila tulis. Write it down somewhere. Write it down. Write it down. You will forget. Yes, very good. Tenaga berkadar terus. Directly proportional to tenaga kinetik berkadar terus dengan suhu. Directly proportional. Okay. That means kalau suhu naik, if temperature increase, tenaga kinetik naik. Kalau suhu turun, temperature decrease, tenaga kinetik turun. Okay. In this case, please remember ini hukum Boyle. P dan B berubah. Macam mana dengan T? What about T? Apa yang berlaku kepada suhu dalam contoh ini? Dalam eksperimen ini? See, balik pada Raja, go back to the diagram. Okay. That's right. So, memang isi padu dia berubah. The volume is changing. Okay. And then the pressure is changing, right? Suhu dia berubah, tekanan pun berubah. Tetapi, suhu dia, dua-dua pun suhu persekitaran. Both also surrounding temperature, isn't it? Kan? Dua-dua pun suhu persekitaran. So, constant. Constant. Suhu tak berubah. Temperature is constant. So, kalau suhu tak berubah, if the temperature is constant, apa yang kita boleh katakan tentang tenaga kinetik? What can we say about the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is tenaga kinetik? What to say? No change. Tak berubah. Tak ada perubahan. Dalam peperiksaan jangan tulis macam ni. In exam, please write complete. Ini cikgu guna short form dalam kelas saja. Okay? In your exam, please write properly. Tak ada perubahan. There is no change. Boleh? Okay, so apa sebab dia? You already know the reason, isn't it? Awak sudah tahu kan sebab dia. Why? Kenapa tak ada perubahan tenaga kinetik? Why is there no change in kinetic energy? Because? Sebab? Because? Macam mana kita tahu? How do you know there's no change in kinetic energy? Because tak ada perubahan suhu. Because there is no change in temperature. Yes, because constant temperature. Very good. Suhu persekitaran tak berubah. Sama. Suhu persekitaran sama. Maksudnya tenaga kinetik pun sama. So you always remember class. Kaitkan balik. You have to link kinetic energy to temperature. Kepada suhu. Yes. Boleh. Then of course the next one will be calculation lah. Memang dia akan suruh awak buat perhitungan. Air compress. Yes, is the volume. Yes. The volume decrease lah. You are right. Volume decrease. So the pressure will increase. But temperature is constant, isn't it? Right? Anything kinetic energy? Yes, kinetic energy. Not everything lah, but yes, in this topic, yes, kinetic energy you relate to temperature. Kaitkan balik dengan suhu. It's also the same as your graph. Ingat tak graph perubahan keadaan jirim? The change in the state of the matter. Do you remember? Ingat tak? The melting point, boiling point. That one also same. Because kita ada suhu, we have the temperature and the time, right? Do you remember this graph? Yeah. Okay. Full 3 marks. Which one? This one. Yang ini 1 mark kah? 1 mark. 1 mark. 1 mark. Okay. So this graph also same. Because bahagian ini apabila ada perubahan keadaan jirim, when there's a change in the temperature, yes, it's in chemistry and also in your physics, you know. Chemistry is dia keluar dalam bab 2. Chemistry is chapter 2, form 4 chapter 2. But physics pun ada. Tingkatan 4 bab 4, chapter 4. Same thing. But the point is a little bit different. Isi dia lain sikit. Okay. Yeah, so melting point. Yeah, that's right. So here, again, there is no change in temperature. There is no change in kinetic energy. Tak ada perubahan tenaga kinetik. Okay. So that's another time that we link temperature and kinetic energy. Kita kaitkan tenaga kinetik dan suhu. Okay. Alright. Okay, come. Let's look at this one. So you already know lah. The last one definitely will be calculation. Mesti ada. Thank you so much. Mesti ada perhitungan. Definitely got calculation. Let's look at this. Raja 5C mengandungi satu tube kaca. So we have a vertical glass tube. Tube kaca tegak yang mengandungi sedikit udara terperangkap di dalamnya. Okay. So there's a small amount of trapped air by a column of mercury. Turus mercury. Nanti cikgu tunjuk Raja dia. I know the words is a bit small here. Just wait. I'll show you the diagram. So panjang turus udara terperangkap ialah 10 dan 4. Okay. 10 and 4. Now the amount of mercury is added. Okay. What is the length? Soalan dia ialah berapakah panjang turus mercury? What is the length of the mercury column? When the length of the trapped air column, okay, apabila panjang turus udara terperangkap menjadi 9.5. Okay. Just look at the diagram. Tengok Raja ni. Tengok Raja ni. Okay. Air compressed wooden particles clash more, therefore particle clash more, yes. There will be more collision. Ada lebih banyak perlanggaran. But the kinetic energy is the same. Their velocity will not change. Laju dia takkan berubah. See, tenaga kinetic, what's the formula? Kinetic energy is, remember not? 1/2, 1/2 mv square, right? So kalau GSM tetaplah, mass will be constant and the velocity will be constant. Velocity won't change. Laju pun takkan berubah. So yes, they collide more often. Memang dia berlanggar. Kekerapan berlanggar memang bertambah. Frequency of collision will increase, but kinetic energy won't increase. The average kinetic energy, you must always remember it's the average. Satu persatu memang dia berubah. The individual particles, it will change. It will change. Okay? But whenever we say kinetic energy of gas particles, kalau kita sebut, contohnya, if I ask you what's the kinetic energy of the gas particles in a container, dalam satu bekas, it's average, purata. So yes, kinetic energy, if kalau zarah ini berlanggar dengan zarah ini, yes, it will change. Tenaga kinetik yang ini berkurang, this one will decrease, this one will increase. So purata dia masih sama, average will remain the same. Understand or not? Faham tak? Okay? It's always average. So it won't change. Kinetic energy won't change. Takkan berubah. Okay. Okay, this one is a very unique question, class. Okay. This one is a very unique question. Tengok sini. Because kita kena kaitkan balik dengan bab 2. Your Form 5 Chapter 2. Pressure in liquid. Tekanan cecair. Okay. Dia kaitkan dengan tekanan cecair. So, no, this one is not calibration. You see, ini dia sudah bagi tekanan atmosfera. They give you atmospheric pressure, 76, 76. Okay. So, turus mercury now got two column, you know. Udara dengan mercury, Okay. Air and mercury. So, I'm going to teach you straight. Saya akan ajar terus. Dia tanya, soalan tanya, because this one is a bit complicated, Okay, this one is a bit complicated. Dia tanya, okay. This one is your, okay, let me show you. Oh, okay. This is your chapter 2 lah. Okay, so here soalan tanya apabila turus udara when the air column is 9.5. Okay, apakah ini? What is this? Apakah mercury? Okay, so di sini kelas we use Boyle's law. Kenapa kita guna hukum Boyle? Why are we using Boyle's law? Not because soalan sebelum ini hukum Boyle. Not because the question before this is Boyle's law. You must always think. Kalau kita nak guna satu hukum, one of the laws, don't ask what is changing. Awak jangan tanya diri awak apa yang berubah. You always ask yourself, apa yang tak berubah? What is not changing? Let me repeat that. Kalau awak nak tahu kita guna mana, if you want to know we use which one, do we use, adakah kita guna P1, do we use this one ataupun kita guna yang ini? Sebab semua diberikan, everything is given, isn't it? Awak kena pilih yang sesuai. Or are we going to use this? Yang mana satu kita pakai? You don't see yang apa yang berubah. Don't see what is changing. Tengok apa yang tak berubah. Which one is constant? See which one is constant. So di sini ini satu situasi. The next situation is turus udara, the air column already change. Dia tukar kepada 9.5 kan? It changed to 9.5, right? Okay. Apa yang tak berubah? What is not changing here? Apa yang tak berubah di sini? What is not changing? So di sini suhu, temperature. Yes. So kalau suhu tak berubah, sini ada suhu, don't take this. Sini ada suhu, jangan ambil ini. Kalau suhu tak berubah, we take this. That is easier, lebih senang macam tu. Faham tak? Okay. Okay, sekarang kita tahu memang kita kena guna hukum Boyle. Now we have to use Boyle's law. Now the question is, macam mana kita dapat panjang ini? How are you going to get the length of mercury? Is it going to change? Adakah panjang turus mercury akan berubah? Yes, because you see, they said, you see, dia kata dia tambah mercury tau. They added mercury, dia tambah mercury. Okay, they added mercury into the tube. So apabila dia tambah mercury, okay, when they add mercury, what is going to change? Apa yang berubah? Bila dia tambah mercury, dia akan mengubah tekanan. The pressure will change. Understand or not? Because lebih berat kan? It's heavier now, isn't it? Never mind, that one is a bit small for you to see lah. So bila dia tambah mercury, you imagine lah if they add mercury, this one become heavier, isn't it? Dia lebih berat kan? Jadi tekanan dia pun akan menjadi lebih tinggi lah. The pressure will become higher, correct or not? Faham tak? Okay? So pressure is changing. Isi padu pun berubah. But macam mana kita dapat panjang dia? How are you going to get the length? Di sinilah kita kaitkan balik dengan, this is where we link it back to form 5. Tingkatan 5. Tekanan cecair. Pressure in liquid. Okay. Kita guna P is H rho G. Do you remember this? Ingat tak? Okay. H rho G. So di sini, okay, semakin, this is your H. Ini ketinggian turus dia lah. Semakin tinggi ketinggian dia, the greater the height of the column, semakin tinggi tekanan. Next time you will learn. Don't worry, you will learn it. When you learn it, you will understand. Okay. So now, tekanan di sini kelas, you see kelas, when we do this, ini adalah perkadaran. This one is using proportionality. Nampak tak? Kiri sama dengan kanan. Can you see left equals to right? PV sama dengan PV, isn't it? PV equals to PV, isn't it? Okay, this one is proportionality. Kalau kita guna perkadaran, tak payah guna unit SI. You don't have to use SI unit. Asalkan kiri kanan sama. As long as left and right are the same. No need to use SI unit. Okay? Alright, no need to use SI unit. So, tekanan di sini kita boleh terus pakai pressure. You can straight away use centimeter mercury. No problem. Kita boleh pakai centimeter mercury. Okay? Okay, let me explain this. So, dalam situasi ini, in this we take this as the first situation. Ini situasi pertama. So, what is the pressure? Apakah tekanan yang dikenakan di sini? What's the pressure of the gas here? How do we know? So, number one, ada tekanan atmosfera. Got atmospheric pressure, right? Sini, tekanan atmosfera. Okay. Tambah tekanan yang dikenakan oleh turus mercury. Plus the pressure exerted by the mercury column, correct? Faham tak? Understand or not? The atmospheric pressure, tekanan atmosfera, tambah tekanan yang dikenakan oleh turus mercury. Plus the pressure exerted by the mercury column. Okay? So that will be what? Tekanan atmosfera ialah 76 cm mercury. 76 cm mercury. Mercury column, another 4 cm mercury. 4 cm mercury. So, kita boleh terus guna centimeter mercury. So, apakah tekanan yang dikenakan di sini? What's the pressure exerted here? 76 plus 4. Understand? Unit yang kita pakai di sini bukan Pascal. We are not using Pascal here lah. We are using centimeter mercury. Di sini kita pakai centimeter mercury. Yang ini tingkatan 5 bab 2. Form 5 chapter 2. This one lah. Tekanan cecair. Pressure in liquid is your form 5 chapter 2. Okay? Don't worry. Bagi pelajar tingkatan 4 nanti tingkatan 5 awak akan belajar. Don't worry. Join my class. Cikgu akan ajar nantilah. Okay. So, apakah isi padu dia? What's the volume here? Now, again, isi padu berkadar terus dengan, see, ini adalah turus mercury berbentuk silinder. Turus udara. The volume, this is a cylindrical air column, isn't it? Right? So, apakah formula bagi isi padu dia? What's the formula for the volume? Luas tapak, base area, darab tinggi. Kan? Okay? Base area, wait, later I answer you. Base area times the height. Volume of cylinder. Isi padu cylinder ialah luas tapak darab tinggi. Okay? Alright. Pi r square h, yes. Pi r square is the base area lah. Okay. So, isi padu berkadar terus dengan ketinggian. Volume is directly proportional to the height, isn't it? Right? So, remember I told you, di sini kita guna perkadaran. We are using proportionality here, right? Okay. Bila kita guna perkadaran, then for the volume, you can just use height. Kita boleh guna tinggi saja. Why? Because tinggi berkadar terus dengan isi padu. So, untuk isi padu, you see, let me show you why. Okay, saya tunjuk kenapa lah. Kita tak tahu luas dia, betul tak? You don't know the area, right? Kita tak tahu diameter tube, betul tak? So, let's say we just do area times height. Okay, area darab 10. Okay, betul kan? Isi padu. This is the volume lah, isi padu udara, right? Okay, sebelah kanan pula, okay, ini tekanan dia, ini yang kita nak carilah. Okay, so, lepas kita tambah mercury, after you add the mercury, okay, lepas dia tambah mercury, sekarang kita ada ketinggian turus mercury yang baru. Let's call it X. Kita panggil dia X. Okay, so X. So, masih ada tekanan atmosfera. We still have atmospheric pressure, but this time plus X lah. Kita tak tahu apa turus dia, berapa banyak yang dia tambah, right? Okay, now look at the volume. Tengok isi padu dia. Isi padu turus udara sekarang, the volume of the air column now will be luas tapak, the base area times 9.5. 9.5, isn't it? Faham tak yang ini kelas? You all understand this part or not? Isi padu turus udara. Volume of the air column. Do you understand? Because it's a cylinder. Faham tak? Luas tapak darab tinggi. Can Okay. Can you see A dan A akan hapus? Nampak tak? Can you see? We can divide by A on both sides, isn't it? That's why I say, kalau dia berkadar terus, kita boleh guna tinggi. You can use the height straight away because yang lain semua akan bahagi. Yes. Yes. Faham? Understand? Okay? So, sekarang kita boleh selesaikan. Can. I will explain again. But now you can solve lah. So, this one 80 darab 10. 80 times 10 800, 800. Sini pula 76. 9.5 darab 76 plus X. So, bahagi 9.5. Left and right, you divide 9.5. Right? Okay. And then tolak 76 lah. So, X will be 800 bahagi 9.5 tolak 76 minus 76. So, jawapan yang awak akan dapat ialah 8.21. This one later you try again lah. Cuba sekali lagi. Dan unit dia ialah cm. cm. Okay. Alright. Let me explain again. So, memang kita guna hukum Boyle. We are using Boyle's law. PV sama dengan PV. Okay. Why? Because suhu dimalarkan. Okay, the temperature is constant. We are finding, so see, this is the first situation. Ini adalah keadaan pertama. This is the first condition. The air column is 10 cm. Okay, ini panjang turus udara ialah 10 cm. Mercury, panjang turus mercury. The mercury column is 4 cm. Okay, panjang turus mercury adalah 4 cm. Faham? Okay. Then, the question is, dia tambah sedikit mercury. They added some mercury. Tapi dia tak sebut berapa. They didn't say how much lah. They added some mercury. Lepas dia tambah mercury, after they added mercury, so this is the second situation lah. So after they add mercury, the new height will be X. Ketinggian baru dia ialah X. Understand? The new height is X. And then dia ada bagi panjang turus udara. They gave you the height of the air column lah, 9.5. Understand? Okay, this is after adding the mercury. Okay. So for pressure, untuk tekanan, kita boleh terus guna, you can directly use centimeter mercury. Kita boleh guna cm mercury. Tak payah guna Pascal. You only use Pascal because kita ada ketinggian turus mercury. We have the height of the mercury column. So we add with atmospheric pressure. Tambah dengan tekanan atmosfera. The total pressure. Jumlah tekanan di sini adalah tekanan gas. That will be the gas pressure. So atmospheric pressure 76. Tambah tekanan yang dikenakan oleh turus mercury plus the pressure that is exerted by the column. I like that. My side is clear. Okay. So this is the total pressure. Jumlah tekanan. Jumlah tekanan. Total pressure exerted. This one, isi padu, kita guna ketinggian. I already explained why lah. Because it's directly proportional. Dia berkadar terus. So, A akan batal. Kiri kanan, kita akan bahagi A. So, the volume, you can straight away use the height. No need to use the volume. Tak payah guna isi padu. Boleh guna ketinggian sebagai isi padu. Okay. So this is before lah. Sebelum dia ialah 10. After that, it became 9.5 kan? Ketinggian dia sudah menurun kepada 9.5. But the pressure now is, the total pressure now is 76, which is the atmospheric pressure, tekanan atmosfera, plus the column is now XCM. That is the X lah. Ini adalah ketinggian torus mercury yang baru. After adding the mercury. Selepas kita tambah mercury. Understand or not? Faham tak? Okay. Then you solve lah. Lepas tu selesaikan lah. What is the X? Can. Alright. Okay. So the answer is 8.21. Okay. Can. Okay. Let me show you. Okay, guys. So this one, kita sudah lebih masuk. So dia more, extended already. So this one still got a few questions from Form 4. Ini adalah tingkatan 5 bab 1. This is your Form 5 chapter 1. Please go through. Okay. And then cikgu akan bagi skema. I'll give you all the mark scheme. Okay. And then go to the bottom. Sini. Look at this. Gelombang, waves. Gelombang, ini adalah bahagian B, section B. Got waves and then got light also. Tengok sini. Go to the last one. This one. Bahagian C ialah cahaya. Chapter 6. I'm going to give you all a mark scheme again. Sila buat. Please do. Please do. Then check the schema. Check the mark scheme. Okay. Habiskan dia lah. So this is what we do in class. The benefit of joining my class is, bila dalam kelas cikgu, exam drill, what will happen is, kalau awak tak faham, cikgu boleh terangkan. Anything you don't understand, sometimes you ada jawapan dalam skema pun awak tak faham. You may not understand. And then sometimes skema salah. Do you know that? Mark scheme can be wrong. So dalam kelas cikgu akan terangkan. In my class, I will explain lah what is wrong, apa yang selalu keluar, what always comes out, okay, apa yang awak boleh ikut, what you shouldn't follow and all that. Cikgu akan terangkan. So if you guys want to do question like this every day, setiap hari cikgu buat soalan yang lain lah. Every day I'm doing different topic. A different subject. You can go to my website mrwelltuition.com. Boleh check di sana. Go and look for the exam drill there. Boleh tengok di sana lah. You want to join, just join. Okay? Join. It will be very helpful for you. Okay. How to find past year paper? Cari saja. You just have to search on Google. Soalan percubaan SPM. Dia akan keluar. Go and search. It's free. Please don't pay. Jangan bayar. Jangan bayar untuk soalan percubaan. Okay? It's free. Ini adalah hak milik. It doesn't belong to me also. This one doesn't belong to me. Okay? Ini adalah hak milik negeri, the state. So nobody should be selling it to you kecuali dia ada, unless they get permission from the state lah. Nobody should be selling. Get it for free. It's free. You just have to Google search on it. Kena rajin sikit saja. Just Google, awak boleh dapat semua. Make sure you do. Okay? Geopagon, bukan Geopagon, dia tanya apa. Geopagon kalau bahagian B, satellite Geopagon ciri dia. Just ciri dia pergi kaji. Ada 4, I think. 4 characteristics. Want to study. No need to do any revision book. Trust me. Buat, yes, that's right. Buat Telegram, yes. You can find on Telegram, the past year paper. Buat soalan percubaan tahun lepas. Past year trial paper is more than enough. No need to get any reference book. Trust me, tak perlu. If you can finish the trial papers, sudah cukup. Okay, and if you join my class, cikgu akan bagi latihan. I always tell my students, ada 3 benda yang awak kena buat. 3 things you need to do. Number 1 is, kalau soalan macam maths at maths, buku teks mesti habis. Textbook question must finish. Mesti habis. Okay, number 1. Number 2, ialah soalan yang cikgu bagi dalam nota. In my notes, I give question also. Saya ada bagi banyak latihan. I give a lot of exercise. So, kena habiskan yang tu. Number 3, trial question. Soalan percubaan. 3 ini sudah cukup. No need anything extra. Tak perlu. No need. Yes, maths and admaths textbook you must finish. Finish all the questions in the textbook. Especially admaths. Mesti habis. Okay? Alright. Bahagian C, Geopagon, ciri. Yes, dia akan tanya. Bahagian C. Yes. Ya. Tapi dia akan ubah soalan lain sikit lah. Nanti cikgu cari soalan lah. Maybe in the next time we do physics again, cikgu cari soalan. You remind me lah. Textbook also can find lah. Can find. Can find. Okay guys, so can find. Can find. Okay guys, so next week you all can let me know. Nanti this recording cikgu akan post dalam video dalam YouTube cikgu. I will post in my YouTube. So siapa yang miss, those of you who miss certain parts, you can go and watch. Okay, boleh tonton dalam YouTube. And then you can comment what subject you want next week, apa subject yang awak nak dan apa topik. Any particular topic you want to do atau nak buat ulang kaji any certain revision, you can go and comment. Cikgu akan buat ikut apa yang awak nak lah. Whatever you want, I will do next week live. Okay? Alright guys, don't forget minggu depan cikgu sudah mula kelas Mei. Those who want to join, just go to my website and then semua automatic, everything's automatic. Kalau tak pasti, you can WhatsApp me. Okay? Alright guys, all the best siapa yang ada I'm very happy siapa yang ada exam minggu ini, all the best, buat yang terbaik, just do your best, everything will be okay. Alright, okay, good night guys.